Welcome to SortaOkay Reviews, where every fan is welcome. I'm Nathan Bedard,
I'm Brad Newton.
and today, sadly, we have to start off the show with a little bit of somber news.
Yeah, as you know, everyone's probably heard right now. Unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman died at the age 43 from colon cancer, and we took the news pretty hard.
Yeah, it was very shocking, and of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, and we're just glad that he's resting easy with Stanley right now.
Mm-hmm. So we just wanted, to start off this video, just talking about a little bit about Chadwick Boseman, and then kind of what he's meant to us. As you mentioned, or as maybe original fans of us know, the first video we ever did was Black Panther in review. So Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman holds a special place for us.
Yeah, I remember watching the old Avenger movies and anything. Whenever Black Panther came into the movie, I just thought he was the coolest. So when we found out that he was gonna be in Civil War and stuff like that, I got excited. And then we heard who he was cast as, and I was excited even more because I first saw Chadwick Boseman in 42 as Jackie Robinson, and I loved that movie. And you just saw that he was going to be a great actor someday, and he was going to be an even better King of Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
And
another famous role he did recently was Thurgood Marshall. He played lots of historical figures, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, and he was probably a great inspiration for where I'm talking as two white males, but as for like the Black community, and he probably did a lot for as a great role model for young Black children to look up to.
Oh yeah, one thing I thought was very touching was,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you saw people, of course, posting pictures of me in the toy community, of course, all the figures, action figures, and then too, you would just see people just posting photos, celebrities posting pictures with him, which was great. And then something I thought was a little bit more touching because, of course, friends and people that loved his entertainment, but as like you said, kids that grew they saw him be Black Panther on the big screen. It was so touching seeing these kids, they were taking their little action figures and putting all the other characters around the Black Panther, and they were doing the Wakanda sign, and I was just like, wow, he he's definitely never gonna be forgotten.
Yeah. Props to him too for keeping it relatively a secret, because as far as I know, or as far as the world was concerned, no one knew that he was going through this.
Oh, I think he kept it almost 100% a secret. I mean, nobody, maybe of course his close friends and colleagues knew, but yeah, no, we never. That's why I think it was so shocking, because we were just like, wait, what? There was no we could have saw, we might have saw this coming. Oh yeah, no, we heard about it. We thought, it was time, so we kind of were preparing ourselves. I think that's why it hit so much harder, was because we're like, wow, no, I didn't think he looked fine. He's doing these. He had stage 3 while he was doing these movies, which is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, he was obviously brave and hardworking, and he just didn't want anyone to probably feel bad for him. There was videos of him visiting children with cancer, and people saying, "I want to stay alive just to see you as Black Panther."
And I think that's the most respectable thing. As a human being, he's just he did not care one bit. He did not have any self. He did not care. He's like, I want to leave a legacy. I want to be remembered as something not. He didn't want to be laying down.
Mm-hmm.
He embodied the Black Panther spirit. He was like, I'm this king. I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to leave a legacy for the world, and he did.
Yeah, he's part of probably the greatest scene in movie history of the portal scene. He's the first one that pops out of the portal scene in Endgame.
Yeah, and I mean, I know people, because some people kind of notice a little bit that in Endgame that he was a little bit more slim, and then too, sadly, and people are horrible. People were, I think there was a live stream where people were dogging on him because he looked like he had lost a lot of weight, but little did we know that was probably just because he was
going through chemo
and stuff like that.
Yeah, so rest in power, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. Of course, right now we're not gonna do a video on what we think might what it might hold for the future for Black Panther 2. We'll do that maybe later on, but right now we already know that it's not going to happen anytime soon. They're not going to recast him or anything like that. People don't need to worry about that. Marvel's not stupid, and Marvel's also very respectful to their, actors and stuff like that. Workers.
Unfortunate news to start off the show, but I think we're gonna go ahead and move on to a bit of lighter news. It sucked that happened, but let's start off with what we normally start off the show with. This is episode 3, and what have you been up to this week?
Well, this week I've still been playing Kakarot. I will admit, I saw people say that the game can kind of go on a little bit, and I remember people were super hyped about it, but as time went on, it wasn't as great. And I'm starting to see that because I've been playing it, and it's of course open world RPG, and the cutscenes take up a majority of the game, which they look beautiful. Mm-hmm. But then you add that on top of you'll have a lot of side missions where you got to go get bolts for an android, or you got to go get food for Chi-Chi, or you got to do this, and you add that. Boring. Yeah, you add that, and it gets a little repetitive.
Yeah, I will say that kind of reminds me. Maybe it's just animes just can't get it down, but World Seeker is very similar to that. I remember I played a lot of One Piece World Seeker, and I got pretty far into it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do all the side stuff, and it got to the point where I was probably 50 hours in the game, and I was like, I don't want to do this for the 100th time. I'm just gonna go beat the story.
It's not a spoiler or anything, but I would say the Cell Saga is probably my favorite, without a doubt, because the Gohan versus Cell fight. But they, of course, and I'm okay with them changing a little bit of it, because if it was a frame by frame remake, you could complain about that too. But some of the things that they changed in the final cutscene, I don't know, I didn't really like it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Yeah, I actually got my PS4 back. It's kind of been not out of commission for a bit. I downloaded Fall Guys, and I was playing that for a while. I haven't got any crowns yet. I think I've only gotten to the 3rd stage, is the furthest I've made it so far. But I've only been playing it a few days.
It's funny. We both have a PS4. I have one of the first gen PS4s.
Yeah.
It was the Destiny 1 bundle, the white one, and that PS4 has it's still it's lasted me this whole time, and I did not feel the need to update to a Pro because I wanted a 4K Blu-ray player and it didn't have that, so I was like, no. And I ended up getting an Xbox, which crapped out on me, sadly, of course. But my PS4 is on its last legs too. This PS5 needs to come out, because my PS4, I'm afraid to download a game just because I think it's
Final
gonna
Fantasy
not work.
7's gonna make it explode.
Yeah, no, it barely I don't have any lag or anything like that with Kakarot. I mean, I've had one or two moments, but I just feel
Fallen Order we were playing, I remember it was pretty laggy. Fallen Order.
Yeah, and then that's what sucks, because Avengers comes out this week.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm gonna pick it up, just for the sheer fact of I don't even think I'd really be able to play it that great. And
yeah. Well, I'm gonna attempt it, and honestly, I might be thinking about getting a PS4 Pro, because our first story is that apparently the PS5 might be pretty hard to get, just because of COVID and everything. So I'm maybe you might have to wait for a PS5.
Yeah, it's been really hit or miss. I mean, we kind of talked about a little bit that Sony was ramping up production. They were gonna they were trying to get a feel of how many people were wanting a PS5, and I still think that once they announce the price, that's going to determine a little bit of it. Because like I said, I don't think especially with times right now, I think there are some people that are doing absolutely fine during this pandemic, and
there's people that are struggling.
There are people out there struggling too. So to justify if if I'm dropping $500-$600 on a PS5 might not work right now, so that might help it a little bit. Yeah. But also with it coming out during Christmas, that's also not going to help it.
So I think they're struggling to get enough units out. I think it's going to be like the Switch, because the Switch was kind of hard to get after the first wave of them came out. If you didn't get one in the first few weeks, you had to wait a few months.
And I saw a video. I think it was another YouTuber. Alon. She used to be on IGN.
Mm-hmm.
She talked about like apparently in UK they've already like they put a SKU for it, like they put a slot for it. And usually they say most of the time they put a penny there because they don't want to reveal the price or anything like that. But they did show that it was the that was for the PS4 was the penny, but the Xbox Series X was listed at I think about $500 because it was UK, so it changed to $500. So the fact that if the Xbox is supposedly people are saying the Xbox is initially more powerful, that makes me wonder like, okay, maybe the PS5 could be same price or it could be less. And if that's the case, I think they'll really win it. But I'm almost a little scared just for the sheer fact of, one, we haven't gotten the pre-order price.
Yeah.
And then two, like they are kind of saying like pre-orders are going to be a little bit hard. You add all that up with like we haven't gotten a lot right now. Could we be looking at a very limited selection for Christmas time? Yeah. And then pretty much having to wait till next year to get the PS5. That's what scares me now.
Yeah, me too. Right now, Sony's doing a thing. You could find... I found the link through IGN, but you can go and put your PSN name, and it's kind of, I think, of a lottery, or they look at your PSN profile or what, but they're going to give some people who go to and put their PSN name in a chance to pre-order it before everybody else. So they're going to have like first dibs on it. So I did it. I put my PSN name on the website, and then we'll see if I get an email or not.
Yeah, that'll definitely be cool. I think though you do at least we have a lot of options though when it comes to it, because you're gonna have that, and then too, Amazon's gonna. I feel like the hardest one, the quickest sellout will be Amazon, because you're just gonna be able to click boom, add, pre-order, boom, and you're good. I think and it's funny because a lot of people, like over the years, of course, we've been saying like GameStop's been dying because like nobody's going there to buy new games anymore. It's mainly just used games, and they're trying to get into collectibles now. But the funny thing is, like, I think our saving grace might be GameStop, just for the sheer fact of like, okay, I don't think you're like, I'm gonna have to wake up the day we know it goes live. I will have to wake up early, but maybe if I just go to GameStop like an hour before. Maybe no line, wait there before they open, boom, walk in there, hey, want to pre-order? I should be good. So, I mean, okay, a couple hours early in the morning, that's not hard. That's not hard to sacrifice for that. So, I think if you're just on top of it, you should be able to get it, though.
I hope so. I hope they're not going to be, like, ridiculously hard to get. Because, I mean, I'm relatively going to be on top of it. So, I think I'll get one as soon as I can. You already mentioned Avengers comes out this week. I have it pre-ordered. I hopefully enjoy it. I didn't get a chance to play the beta because my PS4 wasn't out of commission.
I've heard some people, like, I've seen some people play it and they say that it's fun, it's great, and then I've heard some people say it's like crap. But like, I feel like,
I mean, it's Avengers. You're gonna be Thor. You're gonna be Captain America.
Exactly, and I think those are the people that like they play so many games. They're game reviewers. So they're just used to a lot of stuff. So where it's just like us that just really kind of casually play games, I think we're gonna enjoy it. And two, it's Avengers, and I might have to wait till next gen to play it though. I'm being honest with my PS4.
So yeah, that's pretty much video game news. We only have really one story for anime news this week. It's kind of iffy. It's not like set in stone, but there's big rumors going around that Black Clover the anime might be canceled. There's just a variety of things happening right now. One is that the anime is dangerously close to catching up to the manga.
Yeah, so what's going on with that is like, of course, a lot of people, once they saw the anime getting super close to the manga, they were like, oh gosh. And since it's a weekly, like they kind of were getting Naruto flashbacks. Like they're like, oh gosh, they're gonna go into this 200 episode filler, and already the anime for Black Clover was not received the best. You definitely got its fan base, but it wasn't received that well. So, but then we heard that the mangaka Tagashi, he was actually gonna be supervising the anime canon filler. It's actually canon because technically it's not like the studio just comes up with something. No, he's actually, because of course there is a time skip in Black Clover. He was pretty much going to tell a story for what happens in that time skip. So the fact, so it is canon.
Mm-hmm.
So in that plus, okay, he's gonna be working with them. Not bad. We could go long on this, and it would still, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
But where the animators have messed up recently, there's 2 episodes where the animator does something to one of the characters, and he gives them like a power that they're not supposed to have yet until later in the manga, and he kind of spoils some things and is now making continuity issues. Mm-hmm. So he's not happy with that because it's happened twice now. It happened with relatively close episodes. So he's not happy with that. And that's what could be. That's why some people are speculating that they could just be, and like, so the anime getting canceled. I don't know if that's the case, but it being on hiatus for a while. That's the kind of I could see the possible outcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're pretty light on anime news. So I hope, on the one hand, I hope that Black Clover isn't canceled. I like it, but
I like it. But you know what? I will say, like, if you want to like look at a silver lining for this, Black Clover, I feel like, oh gosh, if it could have been a seasonal anime, it could have been one of the top 3s. I think that the one thing that kills Black Clover is the animation. Because I'm sorry, I've been reading the manga. I love Black Clover. Forget this whole copying Naruto, this bull crap, all this.
Copying Naruto, copying Fairy Tail. Yeah.
Naruto kind of, if you really want to, Naruto kind of copied Dragon Ball Z. You got 2 rivals, and you got to teach this stuff. Everybody eventually takes things from somebody, but it matters if you enjoy the story. But so you include that. I've been enjoying it. I think if it would have had a seasonal anime, it would have been really good. So the possible outcome could be maybe they continue it from where it leaves off, but with a different studio, and it goes seasonal, or maybe they just reboot it all together and start as seasonal. I highly doubt seeing that. I more or less see that if they stopped it and then continued from a new studio and then did seasonal, I more or less see that. But I think that would benefit them. I don't know. I don't see it. Boruto is making like great numbers being a weekly anime in Japan, and that's where they care about it. Like, they don't care if it sells over here. But if it sells over there, that's what they want. So, I don't know. I see I see a silver lining if that happens. But, I mean, we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yep, so that's it for our anime news. The last thing we wanted to talk about is DC fandom. It happened last week, but last week we did our COVID-19 welcome back to, theaters. What theaters are like during COVID. If you missed that video, go check it out. So we didn't really talk about DC fandom, but it's our last story we want to talk about. I had 3 big things that happened that I'm real excited for.
Same. Let's just kind of one overall thoughts of the. Let's first do our overall thoughts of the whole fandom as the kind of what it was.
Yeah, so I was at work when it happened, so I didn't really get to see anything live. I just all I saw was just news. So I think it was actually like a virtual experience where you could see streams with people. Personally, I didn't get to do it, but I mean, that's cool. But overall, it felt more like Comic-Con that day than the actual Comic-Con.
It did. I think that it definitely, without a doubt, did way better than Comic-Con. I do think that if what could have made it more perfect was if they would have actually just done panels. Like, they Zoom called, sat on there for and did 30, 45-minute panels. I think that could have really, because you could have definitely gotten more fans involved. Because you called it fandom, like I said, that was the whole point. But it was nice, just the quickness of it, just going through, and it was boom. And they actually had a lot more to reveal than I thought. Because I didn't think, I knew that they would have a trailer for Wonder Woman, but the other stuff I was not expecting. And it got me excited. And right now, of course, Marvel, they haven't come out with much lately. They had their panel last year, but I mean, as far as content and what we know is coming up, they're kind of dry right now. But I think that they're okay, though, because I think they kind of, they just had Endgame. They could take a break and they'll still be fine. But here's DC's chance to really get ahead, start catching up.
So, yeah, another reason why I think DC fandom was so big is 2 of the things I want to talk about only happened at DC fandom because E3 didn't happen. you better believe that if E3 happened, I'll just go ahead and say it right now, the Suicide Squad game and Gotham Knights definitely would have been announced at E3.
Mm-hmm.
But since they didn't do that, apparently DC's like, okay, well, we have our own event. I think that's what everyone's kind of doing. Like, there was like no big Comic-Con. Like, people couldn't go to Comic-Con. People couldn't go to E3 this year. So everyone's just kind of like, okay, we're just going to have our own show and showcase our own stuff then. Instead of like the one big thing where everyone comes together.
Yeah.
They just decided, oh, we'll just do our own thing now.
Yeah. The one thing, like, I mean, we knew what panels were coming up, but the one big surprise was Gotham Knights.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting that. And
so let's go ahead and talk about Gotham Knights a bit. It's going to be by Warner Brothers Montreal. They were the ones who were responsible for Arkham Origins, which was iffy, but that's because they were trying to copy somebody else that already done something, I think. Mm-hmm. This looks like it's brand new. It doesn't look like it's not part of the Arkhamverse. It's like going to be its own fighting system and its own style, I think. So I think they created this game from the ground up. So the story of this game, it starts off real cool. It's that Bruce Wayne, Batman, is dead.
Yep,
he's dead, and he comes up with video, and it's Red Hood, Nightwing, Batgirl, and Robin.
Yep.
And he says, it's up to you guys to protect Gotham now.
And, like, that's what gets me so excited. Because, like when Arkham, I think it was Arkham City came out, everyone was like, it was cool. Because, like, okay, we get to play as Batman again. And open Gotham. Like, you get to travel around Gotham. But it was kind of cool, too. Oh, we get to play as Catwoman. Like, kind of a different setup. And it was interesting. This is where they really win. Because now you get to play as all four of those characters, and they're all very different. Like, I can't wait to play as Red Hood and being like,
just shoot
guns, yeah. and then too, like, Batgirl looks fun driving around in the
bicycle.
Batcycle, yeah. And like, and it looks a little bit interesting because they're not. I don't think they're tying themselves down to like the Arkham series, but they're gonna have that style.
Universe. Yeah. I don't know how similar the gameplay is going to be. I think it might be a little bit similar, but I think it's going to be its own like system from what I've seen in gameplay. So I'm really looking forward to that. Warner Brothers Montreal is kind of unproven as a game studio. The trailer looks really good. I like the premise, and I'm really interested to see what they do. It's definitely going to be a day one buy for me.
Yeah, I mean, one of the hardest fights in all the Batman series was that Deathstroke fight. So I think it's going to be interesting. Now, I know you're more excited about the Suicide Squad game.
Yeah, so they officially announced, they showed the trailer. It's called Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. This actually does take place in the Arkham universe. They have confirmed that. So it is the same Harley. But this one, we just got a cinematic trailer. I don't think we got any gameplay. But it was just a cinematic trailer of Harley, Captain Boomerang, Killer Shark, and Deadshot. And then they're talking to Amanda Waller. The city's under attack by what looks like Brainiac to me. It looked like a big Brainiac ship up in the sky. And they're going through and they're killing all the robots and stuff. And then they're trying to figure out who they're supposed to kill. And there's a pretty funny shot of like, oh, look, guys, it's Superman. He saved that civilian. And then like, good to have you here, Superman. Takes a lot of pressure off of us. And then Superman, he visions and kills the guy. And then Captain Boomerang and I think they're like, guys, I think I figured out who we're supposed to kill. And then they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, no, I think, like, just as far as, like, the character, like I said, I'm excited for Arkham Knights a little bit more. But as far as, like, you're going to have so many different characters to play as. Like, I couldn't imagine, like, you'll get Harley Quinn and her acrobats, and then you're going to get King Shark and his, like, power, and, like, probably be able to, like, water. Like, it's going to be just so interesting, because, like, I think...
Yeah, and this one is made by Rocksteady. Rocksteady was the one that made the Arkham trilogy. So they have a better track record game studio-wise.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think that this... If anything, I think games are... Comic book video games are showing that they have a place in video games, because I mean, some of the best games we've gotten have been comic book games. Spider-Man is probably one of my all-time favorite games.
Well, the game that kind of broke out and they said, man, comic book superhero games can be good was the first Batman game.
Yes, the first Batman, yeah.
Like, no one kind of expected that to be good, and then like everyone like that played it was like, word of mouth got around to that game so well. I remember my uncle specifically telling me, he was like, "You have to play this game," because no one was expecting Arkham Asylum to be as good as it was.
Yeah, no, and it sparked. I mean, 3 more games, and now it's sparking. Not,
A new Rocksteady,
a new Rocksteady game. I mean,
Suicide Squad,
and that was Batman.
Spider-Man,
Like Batman is a good start because like his combat plus his gadgets and his stealthiness. But you have so many superheroes, and the way you can handle that is so interesting. Like with Spider-Man, like how they did Spider-Man, like you get the web swinging aspect and the web and the suits and like then you do Suicide Squad, and then they could open up to so many more possibilities. Like what if you did like a Green Arrow game later on? So I think this is really fun. I think this is good news for video game and comic book fans.
Yeah, so one thing that I'm looking up right now that I forgot that wasn't on the list, it was the fourth thing, is that they announced the cast moving into movies now for the new Suicide Squad movie, James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Yeah, so I was kind of hoping we would have gotten a trailer, but we kind of got something like it. We kind of got it behind the scenes, and then we got the reveal of the whole cast. I have so much more faith in this movie just because of James Gunn.
Yeah.
Because he handled what was it, Guardians of the Galaxy so well, and then too he looks like he's having so much fun. No strike against Marvel, but I think what happened with him and Disney definitely I don't think set a good taste in his mouth. So it seems like and he's like, this is the biggest movie I've ever worked on, and he looks like he's having so much fun, and I think that that's only good news for us because I think we can get something really great.
And then this movie looks pretty ridiculous. I think it's going to follow the Guardians. So this movie is both kind of not related to the original Suicide Squad movie, but you're still keeping some of the same cast, such as Margot Robbie is still Harley Quinn.
Yep.
I think they're like, she just is Harley Quinn. They said, we're keeping her as that. We don't care if it doesn't make sense. We're keeping Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Her look in this, oh my gosh, that's the Harley Quinn look we've been wanting.
And then they're keeping Captain Boomerang the same. I can't remember his name.
Jai Courtney.
Yeah. He's still going to be Captain Boomerang. I think that's everyone they're keeping the same. But
Viola Davis.
Oh, Viola Davis also as Amanda Waller. But here I have the cast up. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Idris Elba is really cool. I like Idris Elba. He's going to be playing Bloodsport. John Cena's in it as Peacemaker. John Cena described him in the trailer as a very douchey Captain America.
Pretty much. Yeah, even just seeing it, I'm like, yeah.
They look so cheesy, too. It's pretty great. Joel Kinnaman's going to be Rick Flag. Peter Capaldi.
He's returning.
Yeah, as the Thinker, Viola Davis, Amanda Waller, Jai Courtney, Captain Boomerang, Alice Braga as Sol Soraya. Some of these I have no idea who they are. Pete Davidson as Blackguard, Michael Rooker, who played
Yondu.
Yeah, he's going to be in it as Savant. Nathan Fillion as Belkin TDK, Storm Reed as Tyla. This Sean Gunn is going to be Weasel, his brother. Rocket, the guy who does this though. Weasel.
He knows what he's good at. So
I guess he's going to be mocapping some stuff. So there's more things on here, but we heard just don't get attached to the characters, because I feel like this is going to be a Suicide Squad where half of these people are going to die. Yeah,
you can tell some of these characters, like, they are just like just run of the mill, you've never heard of them characters. And yeah, they're just gonna kill them off. I think some of the popular ones they're definitely gonna focus on.
I don't think Margot Robbie will be fine, and I honestly think Cena will be like the big one in this. I think they're gonna focus on John Cena a bit.
Yeah, I think pretty much this. I think this is what they should have done first. They shouldn't have gone crazy cosmic with Enchantress and Hole in the Sky. They should have just probably like, oh, there's a baddie or something broke out, so that they don't want like the superheroes take care of this is their own problem. Maybe it happened because of them, so they got to go fix their own problem. And this just looks so much fun.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I have faith in James Gunn. This is going to be a great movie. I think the last story, the biggest story, what I'm most excited for is they showed the trailer for Matt Reeves' Batman.
Yeah, so real quick before we get into that, just some tidbits on what also happened. They did reveal a last Wonder Woman trailer. Looks amazing. We get to see Cheetah. She looks great. I think I never thought, because with Kristen Wiig, I didn't think she was going to be like the like a cheetah. Like I just didn't see her that, but she actually looks really, really good. We did get the some concept art for Black Adam.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in that, to be honest.
Looks great. I wish we would have gotten
him in the suit at least.
At least seen The Rock in the suit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the title of the next Shazam movie, which is I think
I can't remember what it was.
Something Gods.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Aquaman 2 we really didn't get nothing for, which is kind of disappointing. And then Matt Reeves' Bat. What else? There was one more thing that I'm like drawing a blank on right now.
Okay. Well, I think we're just going to move on to Matt Reeves' Batman, because honestly, that was what broke the internet.
That was not what I was expecting. I thought, because I'm like, okay, we'll probably get a trailer for Suicide Squad. I don't think we're going to get anything for Batman. Mm-hmm. I was wrong.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to come out next year. The trailer is freaking amazing. I assume if you're watching this, you've seen the trailer, but if you haven't, go watch that trailer. It seems from the trailer that the bad guy's going to be Riddler.
Yep.
And then he has a mask on. They have Catwoman in there, and then everyone that was like shitting on Robert Pattinson being cast as Batman.
See, and of course we still got to see the movie before we actually get the true outcome. But see what I mean? Like people with Heath Ledger, just because he was in Brokeback Mountain, they're like, how is that guy gonna be Joker? Mm-hmm. These are actors. They have, if they're a well-acquired actor in Hollywood, there's a reason for that. They have levels. I knew Robert Pattinson. I'm like, forget the Twilight thing. That was what he did. That's what made him famous. But he's not it's not like his main thing. He's like, I'm an actor. I can play different roles. So I'm like, okay, you could play Bruce Wayne. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm all in. So apparently this movie's during the second year of Batman's career, so he's still relatively new as Batman. Mm-hmm. There's that scene where it looks like he's talking to the Joker people, is what the scene that everyone's talking about, where he says, "Who are you?" Then he just walks up and beats the shit out of him.
I'll admit, the trailer was good, but it wasn't until that moment I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great."
Yeah,
because it wasn't like and then no, he just bah. I mean, he messed that dude up.
Yeah,
and then too, the little stuff with Catwoman, I'm loving that. I'm loving that she's just kind of in a burglar suit. She'll probably get something later on. Mm-hmm. He might give it to her. He might make her a suit.
Yeah, we'll see. But I like the Batman suit. I don't know, everything about this movie. I love
the grittiness of it.
Yeah,
it feels.
I'm on board. That's, I think of everything, that's what I'm most excited for. DC fandom was Matt Reeves' Batman trailer.
Yeah, I will say, I think if anything, the only thing I want to see a little bit more of, maybe in a trailer later on, I want to see him talk a little bit more. I want to see his Bruce Wayne side, because I think his Batman side looks great.
Yeah, his very emo style, the memes of him being goth and emo face.
Yeah, but I just want to see him talk a little bit more as Bruce Wayne. I want to get a little bit more vibe of that. I think the Riddler being the villain, I'm glad, because we haven't gotten that in a while. Mm-hmm. Last time was Jim Carrey, which no disrespect to Jim Carrey, but I want more.
I don't think it worked very well.
Yeah, I want a more modern Riddler. I think he's a very undermined villain.
Yeah,
but man, that was crazy. I think honestly, yes, I was disappointed that we didn't get anything from Henry Cavill. Mm-hmm. I think that's what we meant. The Snyder Cut.
Oh, the Snyder Cut trailer came out. Yeah, we did see that, and it's gonna be 4 hours, and cool. I mean, I'll watch it, but I don't think I don't know. Personally, I think it's being hyped up too much.
4 hours, that is a lot more for content. I just do think okay, if you're doing 4 hours, maybe they should have just done this movie in 2 parts, from the beginning. I think that would have been better. But hopefully, I mean, if it's not it wasn't well to begin with. Mm-hmm. And if it's amazing, great. Then we got this version now.
Yeah. But, I'm definitely going to watch it. It's a reason to get HBO Max. I just think it's being hyped up a little too much. Really excited for Batman, really excited for Gotham Knights, and really excited for Suicide Squad Kills Justice League. I think there was bigger news than Comic-Con. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Episode 3 of the Sorta Anything show.
Yep. So, of course, not a huge week in news and stuff like that, but we are getting towards the holidays, and hopefully we're almost done with this year. We only got a couple more months, and then hopefully we can get back into next year, back into the movies. back into entertainment, just escape this crappy year.
Yep. So I think that's gonna do it for us. If you would please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit the like on this video, leave a comment below. We'll respond to it. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much, and have a great day.